pleasure.
I'm Todd Grisham. Next to me, of course, is Johnny Nelson.
The pleasure's always mine.
It's safe.
This bout is
Expectation. High hopes for this battle between these two athletes. He just misses with that big right hand. Nice job landing that left counter punch. Nice counter shot. Perhaps the hottest ticket in town for this fight tonight.
You can walk into an arena and be the hero. The pressure, the expectation, the desire from the fans. You can't get away from it. Ignore them. Lock it off. I know it's hard. I can hardly hear you, Todd. You've got to ignore them. Get on with your job.
That punch landed. Nice exchanges from both men in this round. And he fails to score with that left hook.
Very close match. It shows the skill, the discipline, the respect both fighters have for each other because no one dare do anything out of turn.
Missed him with that uppercut. This fighter told us yesterday, if he doesn't win by knockout, he doesn't consider it a real victory. That's the mentality he had.
How you deal with a slugger, you've got to use brain over brawn. Bull and a matador, pop, jab, move. Get them angry.
Good counter punching for both these fighters. A very competitive round with 10 seconds left. That counter lands. A perfect counter land. Talk about Joe Calzaghe. As bad as boxing judging could be sometimes, there's no doubt who won that round.
As long as they don't get complacent, you think this is too easy. If they keep this same kind of pace up, they've got this fight.
What do we expect to see here in round two? Coming off that fantastic last round, let's see if he can keep his momentum going. Great counter right hand there. Counter right. Nice exchange here from both men. And he misses with the left uppercut. Left counter was perfectly timed. Both men step back for just a moment. The counter fighter relies a lot on their instincts and reaction time. You've got to get in there quick to punch your opponent before he gets his fist back to block.
Todd, I understand what you're saying, but you've got to be on this. You've got to be on it. You've got to be a pro. You've got to think right. Concentrate.
Nice exchanges from both men in this round.
They're so close, so close. How can you separate them? It's going to be a hard night tonight for the judges.
We're at the halfway point of this round, and both of these fighters have had their moments. Still could go either way. He misses with that jab. Good counter punching. You'd like to see more jabs. This round could go either way. 10 seconds to go. Talk about Joe Calzaghe. That was almost a 10-8 round. Complete dominance.
You can't leave it up to the judges. It's up to you as the fighter, and the tournament's got to put a firecracker on that fight to get at them.
There's the bell to start round three. Well, there's no doubt about who won that last round. Let's see what he has for us here in the next one. Counter right-handed kick. In these middleweight type of fights, Johnny, you're obviously not going to see the speed you see in some of the lighter divisions or the power you see in some of the heavier divisions, but you sort of get the best of both worlds.
The middleweights are the best you can ever come across. Obviously, the flyweight is a heavyweight, but the middleweight is the size of the average man or woman. When you get in there and you're letting the shots go, you've got power, you've got speed, you've got pace. You can stand, you can dance, you can do everything. We can look back in history. You know the amazing fights at middleweight are ridiculous. That is what writes our history books.
Good counter-punching for both these athletes. Insane action. Nice exchanges from both men in this round. He just misses with that jab.
Skill for skill, tap for tap. It's like a match made in heaven.
He misses with that jab. Nice job landing with that right-hand counter. When you're a power puncher, you're not as concerned with how many punches you throw. It's about how many you land and how hard they are.
You've got to be courageous when you get in there with someone that's bigger, stronger, and faster. You've just got to use brain there.
Very close round with 10 seconds to go. Talk about Joe Calzaghe. I promise you, all three judges here are going to give that. On to the fourth we go. Well, there's no doubt about who won that last round. Let's see what he has for us here in the next one. Good left counter that lands. That left scores. Men step back for just a moment. You can tell he's stronger, but he's not faster. He's got someone with the hand speed that this fighter possesses. How do you deal with it?
You've got to ruffle their feathers, Todd. You cannot let them get comfortable, drag them, get them complaining to the referee, because once somebody with excellent foot speed and excellent power gets into the rhythm, the fight is over.
Some nice exchanges from both men in this round.
Perfectly matched, skill for skill, tap for tap. Now this fight will say, you know what, I'm just that notch above you, and so I've got to respect both of them more than happy.
Miss with that jab. And counter left. Good one. Timing beats speed. Speed beats power. Big left there, but very close round with 10 seconds to go.
I heard that, never by saw it.
Talk about Joe Calzaghe. And a round that seemed like he... Raise the bell to start round 5. Catch and shoot. When you're a power puncher, you're not as concerned with how many punches you throw. It's about how many you land and how hard they are.
You've got to be courageous when you get in there with someone that's bigger, stronger, and faster. You've just got to use brain there.
And he misses with that jab. Nice counter shot with the right hand. Lands with the right counter. That Left counterpunch will score. Both men step back for just a moment. This fighter has determined that they can walk through any punches that their opponent throws, and that's a very confident spot to be in.
I've seen some fights with a granite chin. You can hit them with a sledgehammer, they are not going to move. But then I've seen some mad punchers with a chin like a cliff. As soon as you touch them, they're gone. And this is the danger spot.
Nice exchanges from both men in this round.
They're so close, so close. How can you separate them? It's going to be a hard night tonight for the judges.
Beautiful counterpunch. Hey, those punches add up. Perfect counter shot. You'd like to see more jabs. You know the scorecards are going to be all over the place in this one. Offensive display, Lane. Talk about Joe Calzaghe. After what we saw in that last round, let's start the sixth. Coming off that fantastic last round, let's see if he can keep his momentum going. Nice counter shot. We both know who the bigger power puncher is. There's a significant power difference. How would you handle that?
I've seen certain fighters that can depend on just their power alone. Forget tactics. They know the second they touch you, it's done. That's where the confidence comes from.
Good counter punch. Neither fighter willing to sit down on these punches. They're arm punches. They're scoring, but they're not going to hurt anybody. So much firepower here. Some nice exchanges from both men in this round. That right jab just misses.
Perfectly matched, skill for skill, tap for tap. Now this fight will say, you know what, I'm just that notch above you, and so I've got to respect both of them more than happy.
Punches and bunches. That's the mantra for this fighter with that exceptional hand speed.
When you've got a fast fighter, they will cut you to ribbons, and they know it's a matter of time before either you get desperate or the referee jumps in and saves you.
Oh, that changes everything, and down they go. 1, 2, 3, 4. Talk about Joe Calzaghe. That'll be a 10-8 round for sure with the knockdown.
Can make or break a fighter.
There's the bell to start round 7. Let's see how he bounces back here after getting dropped in the last round.
That knockdown we just saw was a heavy knockdown. I'd be very, very surprised if he'll come out fresh as a daisy. That's not going to happen. He's got to hustle him. He's got to bluff him.
He just missed with that left jab. This is certainly an aggressive fighter, but that doesn't always mean success. How many times have you seen a fighter chase a superior athlete around the ring and just get picked apart even though they were the one pushing the tempo?
Sometimes when you have a fight, the best way to beat a fight is not give them what they want, because they want to get you there. They want you to stand there toe-to-toe with them and have a terror. That's what they do in the gym every single day of the week. What you've got to do is you've got to frustrate them as they set their shots. Get out of the way, and they'll get so angry, so frustrated because they can't work.
That cut is in a very bad place. The referee might stop it here. A little bit of a surprise here as the referee says we can continue. doesn't always pay to be first. It pays to be last. Nice counter punch. You can tell he's stronger, but he's not faster. Punch, counter punch. Both men step back for just a moment. Despite what the judges' scorecards read, there are no losers in this one. Beautiful counter shot. Let's talk about Joe Calzaghe. Well, we're entering... And we enter the 8th round. Safe to say that last round was a nightmare. Let's see if we can turn it around here.
That was a tough last round. Now you've got to make sure he doesn't put it on you, and that's what he's going to try and do. So tie him up, hold him, lean on him. Don't get drawn into a fight. Not yet. Not until your senses have come back.
Nice counter. This fighter has determined that they can walk through any punches that their opponent throws, and that's a very confident spot to be in.
This is when you get in the ring feeling like you're King Kong, because you know you've got a chin that is not going to get dented.
Nice exchange here from both men. He blocks that jab. Exchanges from both men in this round. How nervous would you get when you know you're facing a big puncher like this that can seriously hurt you?
Todd, we know one of these fighters can knock you out with a simple jab. They're that powerful. This could be really intimidating, Todd. If you know somebody's got the punch power, someone's got the speed, someone can take you out with a simple jab, it can be intimidating. Just depends on how confident you are as a fighter.
Not a lot of punch output. Thought there might be more action here. Not a lot of punch output. Thought this round's still up for grabs with just 10 seconds to go. Catch and shoot with the left counter. Good job. Let's talk about Joe Calzaghe. At this point, you got to... Let's see how much fatigue we see here in round 9. Well, they got battered last round. How do they turn their fortunes around?
They've had 1 minute to recover. Now they've got to bluff it. They've got to bluff it. They've got to come out now and style it out. Get on the back foot, jab, rest on the jab. Be smart and pop until your legs come back. Then put the pressure on.
Couldn't land that jab. Power is obviously the great equalizer in boxing, but when you know your opponent is relying on that so heavily, how do you deal with it?
Sometimes when you get in there with someone that's so powerful, you're thinking, you've just got to be smarter than them. You've got to be like a little Sagan and pickpocket them.
Gotta let your hands go a little bit. It's okay to be aggressive now. Some nice exchanges from both men in this round.
Skill for skill, tap for tap, just like a match made in heaven.
Misses with the jab. Don't let this fighter's speed fool you. There's some method to the madness. These are precision shots, and they're coming at lightning speed.
Having so much speed, what happens to your opponent is you get cut to ribbons, and that's where the referee has to jump in and stop the fight. And you know this is going to happen, so you rush your work. You think, I've got to get him inside close rounds.
There's a counter shot. You know the scorecards are going to be all over the place in this one. The bravery being shown here is just incredible. Talk about Joe Calzaghe. We've made it to round 10. Exchange punches. And they figure out the combination to this safe. That jab misses.
They're so close, so close. How can you separate them? It's going to be a hard night tonight for the judges.
We're at the halfway point of this round, and both of these fighters have had their moments. Still could go either way. Showing exceptional chins, by the way. Left counter score. Gets out of the way of that left hand. This round could go either way. 10 seconds to go. Talk about Joe Calzaghe. They've got the momentum. And there's the bell for round 11. Coming off that fantastic last round. Let's see if he can keep his momentum going. You hear that old phrase, second win. You've got to find it somehow.
What can they change? They can change their attitude. They can change their nervous system for a certain amount of punches per round. Because otherwise, if they deviate from the game plan, they're going to be shattered once again, and the fight will be over.
One moment. You can see there's blood, and the referee's going to take a good look at it.
You're taking too much, the fight is over.
And he will stop it. TKO winner. A mercy stoppage there from the referee. Complete and total domination and another stoppage win.
A TKO, we've got to see it again. Because TKOs, they finish the story too early. It's like being kicked out of a club before the night's done. We want to get a full-blooded who won and who lost. Not by a cut, not by a TKO.